Imagine your heart breaking, not in the quiet solitude of your own room, but under the relentless glare of a global spotlight. What if every whispered promise, every shared glance, every inevitable stumble in love became fodder for headlines? Zayn Malik, the enigmatic crooner who seemed sculpted from starlight and shadow, possessed a voice that could mend souls. Yet his own path through romance resembles a map charred by betrayal and misunderstanding. Today, we venture beyond the paparazzi flashes and cryptic tweets, deep into the labyrinth of Zayn's heart, asking, is he cursed in love, or is the wreckage a reflection of a storm raging within? From the seemingly idyllic bloom of young love with Perrie Edwards, a pop royalty fairy tale, to the supernova intensity and subsequent collapse with Gigi Hadid, Zayn's relationships haven't just ended, they've detonated, leaving behind emotional shrapnel. These weren't mere breakups. They played out like grand, tragic operas on the world stage, each note resonating with passion, beauty, and ultimately profound sorrow. But peel back the layers of celebrity gloss, and a haunting question emerges. Is this a pattern spun by fate, or woven by the threads of unresolved inner turmoil, the suffocating weight of fame, and perhaps a self-destructive instinct he can't escape? Part 1. The boy band romance that shattered like glass, Perrie Edwards. Before the solo career, before the brooding mystique fully hardened, there was Perrie. She wasn't just another singer. She was his anchor in the dizzying hurricane of One Direction mania. Their 4-year relationship felt like a pop symphony. Bright, hopeful, seemingly invincible. They were the golden couple, proof that maybe love could survive the crucible of unprecedented fame. Then, the music stopped. Abruptly, violently. In 2015, the fairy tale shattered. Perrie's revelation, allegedly dumped via a single cold text message, struck a raw nerve globally. Zayn's subsequent denial felt like trying to unring a bell. The narrative was set, a swift, brutal severing. Her description of it as the worst time of my life wasn't just celebrity drama, it echoed in the hearts of anyone who'd ever felt discarded, erased by a sudden silence. The carefully constructed castle of their love crumbled, leaving behind not just ruins, but the chilling ghost of how easily connection can be severed. But if you've ever tried to rebuild after a heartbreak, you know the next chapter isn't always safer. Sometimes it's just more intense. What came next promised stability, but delivered a storm. Part 2. Gigi Hadid and the Mirage of Maturity. Enter Gigi Hadid, supermodel, icon. Their connection felt different, more mature, a meeting of equals navigating the stratosphere of fame. For 6 years, their love story flickered on and off like a faulty neon sign, captivating millions. Magazine covers screamed commitment, red carpets radiated glamour, and the birth of their daughter, Kai, seemed to cement a future. It looked like evolution, like healing made manifest, a fortress of stability built over the ruins of past heartbreaks. But illusions, no matter how beautiful, are fragile. The alleged altercation with Gigi's mother, Yolanda Hadid, wasn't just a crack. It was a foundational tremor that brought the entire edifice crashing down. Denials met accusations, legal documents replaced love letters, and restraining orders became the final, bitter punctuation mark. The shock wasn't just about the drama, it was the visceral disappointment. Fans, onlookers, perhaps even Zayn and Gigi themselves, had desperately wanted this love to be the antidote. Its implosion felt like a betrayal, not just of the couple, but of the very hope that love, even under pressure, could endure. It mirrored that sinking feeling when you realise the safe harbour you believed in was built on shifting sands all along. But sometimes, the collapse of everything around you reveals what's been crumbling inside all along. Part 3. The Unseen War Within. And here, the narrative takes a sharp, introspective turn. What if the recurring villain in Zayn's love stories isn't a partner, or even fame itself, but the reflection staring back at him in the mirror? Perhaps the real tempest wasn't between Zayn and his lovers, but raged within the intricate shadowed architecture of his own mind. He's candidly spoken of crippling anxiety, of panic attacks born from the relentless scrutiny, of feeling like an outsider even within the brotherhood of One Direction. Fame, for Zayn, wasn't just a spotlight. It became a gilded cage, amplifying insecurities, distorting reality. How can you build trust with another when you're locked in a battle with your own anxieties? His poignant admission, "I just want to be left alone most of the time," speaks volumes. It's the sound of someone retreating, pulling up the emotional drawbridge. Love requires vulnerability, presence. But perhaps for Zayn, survival demanded walls. It's a heartbreaking paradox. The connection he craves is thwarted by the very mechanisms he uses to cope. And if you've ever seen someone you love repeat the same mistakes, you know how this feels. The names change, the faces fade, but the heartbreak stays the same. Part 4. The push and pull. Trust eroded by silence. Observe the pattern. Intense magnetic connection, a period where the world sees devotion, followed by withdrawal, silence, disappearance. It's visible in the gaps on social media, the cancelled appearances, the whispers of emotional unavailability. This isn't merely celebrity aloofness. It feels like a defense mechanism deployed too late, after intimacy has already taken root. In relationships, silence isn't empty. It's a chasm where doubts fester and trust decays. Perrie sought closure she seemingly never received. Gigi offered chance after chance until the alleged breaking point. For partners, loving someone who periodically vanishes emotionally must feel like navigating a minefield blindfolded. And for those watching, especially those who've loved someone emotionally distant, it's a painfully recognizable dynamic. How many of us have poured our hearts into someone who retreats into shadow, leaving us grappling with the silence, wondering if the love was ever real? Part 5. Can the cycle be broken? The path through healing. It's tempting to cast Zayn as the sole architect of his romantic misfortunes, but perhaps the narrative isn't one of blame, but of deep, unmet needs. Beneath the turbulence, glimpses of tenderness, fierce loyalty, and profound love for his daughter shine through. Love exists within him. The crucial question is whether he can undertake the difficult emotional archaeology required to understand his patterns, confront his demons, and finally learn to build love on foundations of healing, not on the fragile ground of past hurts and anxieties. His story resonates because it magnifies universal struggles. The longing for connection, the fear of vulnerability, the battle scars we carry from past wounds, and the hope that maybe, just maybe, we can learn to love and be loved wholly without self-sabotage. We don't just watch Zayn's heartbreaks. We see fragments of our own reflected in the public spectacle. Ultimately, Zayn Malik's journey through love is less a simple tabloid narrative and more a complex, often painful, human echo chamber. It reflects the distorting pressures of modern fame, the long shadow of internal battles, and the universal, messy quest for connection in a world that often demands perfection. His story isn't finished. While paved with lies, deceit, and mistakes, the possibility remains for a different ending, one not defined by repeated heartbreak, but by the quiet strength found in healing, growth, and perhaps, eventually, a love that endures not despite the scars, but because of the wisdom they impart. Zayn's story is a powerful reminder that appearances rarely capture the whole truth, especially when it comes to the heart. If his journey through love, loss, and the search for stability struck a chord within you, if you've ever navigated the complexities of healing after heartbreak or felt the weight of expectation, share your reflections below. What does it take to break a cycle? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives, and share this video with anyone who understands that the path to real connection often runs through difficult terrain.